Okay, I'm building this pack of lipos up, and what I'm doing is I'm taking my blocks of 4 and just double dabbing them really. I was putting a long streak in, but I thought, why do that when a couple of dabs will do the job just as good. Not only that, makes them easier to come apart if I have to get a bad sellout at any time. The reason this pack is being made like this is because of the receptacle it's going in, and it's going to be very good. I found this quite by accident, thanks to my friend Mark. He brought 2 of these containers in and said, "Do you want these for bits?" I said, "OR," thinking of the MOSFETs on the motherboard. It gave me, well, there was 2 of them. They gave me everything I want besides the components I knew that were in there, the MOSFETs. So I'll show you that in a minute, or later, or in another video. Alright, stop screaming. I might show you in this video. Okay, but as you can see, it's they're going to take no notice of the wiring. It's got to be changed. I've got somewhere, and I don't know where I put them. So what I'll do is I'll cut you loose and bring you back in a split second, thanks to the wonder of video, and show you what I'm on about. I found them. I've been playing on my CNC machine again. Yeah, I will show it to you working on my other channel. But I've been making these little boards, and as you can tell by my finger and thumb, they are quite small. And they're that small because they're going there, like that. Un momento. Yeah. They're going like that. Why? Well, up here there's super duper protection that comes with the cells, and I wanted to be able to put my charging system with the fuse on each cell as well. Well, I didn't want to disturb this because that's got its own sort of protection and everything else. Because it's lipos, you could say it's overkill, but I would rather be safe than in a horrible mess. So I designed and built these boards, and what they will house is the 5 amp fuse wire and the 2 diodes that I showed you previously on the book according to Lithium Ion. So I'm still waiting for the hinges to come for that. Me and Stu have been waiting nearly 2 months. They're on the way. I've had an email to say they're on the way, but it's the longest I've ever had to wait for anything from AliExpress. Well, from anywhere in China, to be honest. Prior to that, I think it was 20 days. but in general I get it here within a fortnight from China. Okay, so that's what they're for. They're not going to sit directly on that. I'm using double-sided tape and then sticking that on top of the double-sided tape, because that will hold it in position, and also the wiring, because it's stiff wiring, it's going to be nice and firm. Okay, so that's that. And the container these are going in is actually right behind me. Guess what? You're going to have to wait. Right. It's the usual 3 packs for my charger board. I don't believe it. Where did I put that? Oh well, I'll show you later. Okay. Yeah, it takes 12 cells that way and 3 cells that way. I'm not just making 1 pack for the lighting system, I'm making 2, because I also want to run some 5 volt power as well for you know, USB charging of my tablet and phone and other stuff. Also, I want to get my laptop on this system as well. So that'll be another test for one of these packs, is running my laptop, see how long it can run it for on 1 charge. So getting there slowly. I will in a minute, stop shouting. Keep shouting, I might leave it till later, or show you in another video. I'm not nasty, I just like having fun. Right, so that's the pack. As I said, take no notes of this wiring. It was just some experimenting I've been doing. It's all coming off, all except the negative wires, that is. The negative wires are fine where they are. I've just got to do a little bit of jiggery pokery, because I discovered something on these cells on the board, and that is, I've been thinking that because those 2 there are for the positive, I thought those 2 there was for the negative. Wrong! The negative is actually that one, I think. That one there. Could be that one. Yeah, I think it's that one. Yes, it is that one. It's going down to the negative tab, that's the positive tab. So I just got to pull them back off of that, shorten them, resolder them on there, and job's a good one. Okay, so I'll bring you back in a bit. Maybe with what's behind me. Hey folks, guess what? I've been talking to myself for about 15 minutes. Why have I been talking to myself for about 15 minutes? Because I was talking to you lot. And guess what I did again? You're right, I didn't press the record. So, I'll start again. There'll be a puzzle neck for this one, puzzle neck for that one, puzzle neck for that one. And what I've got behind me is what this is going into. And The item that this is going into is something very well known. I took them all apart and then I thought, I wonder, and I got one of these packs, dropped it in, perfect. It takes 3 blocks of 4 that way and 3 blocks of 4 that way. So I've got quite a lot of power just in a pack this size. And the beauty of it is these units don't, when they're enclosed, don't look industrial. You could leave them anywhere and they wouldn't look industrial. So you could put them in your front room if you wanted to. Okay, but also out of the units came other units that I can put the charger board into and wire it completely. And also the power socket had 6 pins, and when I looked at the power supply it said 12.1 amps. I went, oh yeah, cut the cable at the power pack end, stripped the wire back, and there was 3 yellow, 3 black, and I thought, are they the same as the pins on the socket? So I plugged it in, got the meter, and they were. Absolutely perfect. So I've got the socket to bring the connections from this pack out into the charger unit. And the charger unit case does look industrial, but I can get 3 of them inside another well-known case that doesn't look industrial, and you could have that in your front room. And yes, I am on about recycling. Okay, would you like to see what I've got behind me? Now, do I really want to show you? That's the thing. Do you know, if you pull your hair out anymore, you're going to go bald, like me. So, be patient. There's plenty of time. All the time in the world. Alright, I'll stop winding you up. Otherwise I'm going to be dead by tonight. Right, hang on a minute, I'll just move this slot. I've got to empty it first. And not only that, I like keeping you in suspenders. Oops. You ready for this? Okay, here we go. It's one of them, and if I can lift this pack up and drop it in, what do you think of that? Good, innit? Anybody recognise it yet? Oh, the fan's coming out, by the way. Oh, I don't need them to cool these down because they don't get hot. No? Okay, hang on a minute. Sure you're ready for this? Anybody ever seen one of these before? Good, innit? Yeah, I didn't, until I started stripping them down for the bits off the motherboard, I didn't realise what they had inside them. Really. I mean, I knew what they had inside them, but I didn't know that I could utilise it the way I do. And as you can see, there's the plug and there's the cable. 3 yellows, 3 blacks. Magic. And that's the same, this is the prototype. That's the same size charger board, and it fits in the CD-ROM. Even height-wise. So the CD-ROM will then go into another unit, which is pleasing to the eye. I can't remember the word. Obviously I'll be taking all the guts out of here. So there you are. Oh, by the way, these were dead completely. There's something wrong with the processor chip from what I can work out. So I had no problem taking them apart. I won't take working machines apart. I'll only take broken, non-working stuff apart. If I'm given anything that works, then I'll find somebody who wants it but has something broken that I want, and we do a swap. So that's how I work. Oh, the other thing, the only other thing I have to do, because of that piece of plastic in there, because of that piece of plastic in there, I had to get a screwdriver and knock the flat tab out the top, so that it didn't matter which model of Xbox it was. All I got to do is knock that out, take the 2 pins out, and then I can use the same plug and socket arrangement. And what I like about it is the socket is actually screwed down to this metal case, and all I got to do is cut the piece of motherboard with these mounting holes on, so that I've got the right spacing to get the plug into the hole and then into the socket. So yeah, I'm dead chuffed with that. So now you can see what I meant when I said it was a lipo surprise. Oops. Excuse me. Yes, I have got room to put more in, but no, there's a 4. Yeah, no, I wouldn't get another 4 in there. So what I'm going to do is centralize them. Excuse me. I'm going to put plastic spacers on each end, and also on the bottom I'm going to take some sheets of plastic out of stripped down monitor LED or LCD monitors, and that will go in the bottom and be glued in position so it doesn't move. Excuse me. And then this pack will be ready to use. Now the plug and socket arrangement I showed you is for the output of the cell pack, and what I'm going to be doing is getting like in fact, no, it wouldn't carry the current. It'll probably be phono plug and a jack, which I'll put in here somewhere. In fact, there's a hole there which corresponds to a hole on the front panel, which I might use, and that's for the 4 volts charging supply, because I'm only switching the negatives, I'm not switching the positives. So by switching the negatives, I put each pack in parallel, and then the charging will charge them all. When the charging is finished and the relays drop out, these packs will be put in series and outputted from the charger board. So there you go. I hope you like.